Welcome everybody, bit of a different video from me this time round. I'm going to be talking about the Gunpla Expo World Tour Hong Kong 2012, and at the time of posting this video at least, then we are 3 days in with 3 days to go, and you can see the dates right here. We are talking about December and 6th to the 11th, and do note the times, which is 11 to 9 o'clock. So this is being held this time round at the Hollywood Plaza in Hong Kong, and I'll show you how to get there in just a second, but just want to preface that with those of you who've been watching Hobbylink TV and stuff like that, then you've probably already seen the Gunpla Expo at Tokyo and all that. So just want to start by saying that this one, the Hong Kong version for this year at least, is very much downsized, and it's just in the middle of a shopping mall at the Plaza Hollywood. So let's zoom on over there and show you how to get there if you're fortunate enough to actually have the time to visit. So okay, so this is the Plaza Hollywood homepage, and you'll know you're getting close because you're going to go past the most famous temple in all of Hong Kong. So that's right there, and the station you want is Diamond Hill, and once you get there it's easy enough. Plaza Hollywood right opposite, so that's where we're talking about for this Gunpla Expo. In this video I'm going to show you some general footage shot of the expo itself, then I'm going to talk about some of these exclusives that you see here, ones that you can only buy at these Gunpla Expos, and finally I'm just going to show you some and pick out some things that I particularly like, new kits and particular dioramas and things like that. And before I move on, just want to point out that I'm not there in person with my normal HD camera, so most of this was shot on an iPhone, so I do apologise for some of the aspect ratio and just the general compression. Okay, with that being said, let's move on to the rest of the video. So you should always start things off with First Gundam if you can, so this is what I like to think of as the RX-78 through the ages. And I particularly remember the 1998 Perfect Grade Gundam because that's my first perfect grade that I bought whilst I was on holiday, and I just about got the whole kit in one suitcase, and that's all I could fit in, so good times indeed. Moving on to something a bit newer, this is of course the Master Grade lineup for the Wing Gundam series, which was really popular over the last couple of years, and of course we are talking about the Tallgeese. Arguably the star of the show, as Bandai would have you believe and push sales for, is of course the current newest real grade, the real grade Zeta Gundam, and the just for measure, I think they're just putting in a few extra Nu Gundams there just for show. And here we've got the full lineup of the current real grades, so where this takes us in future I don't know, but it's looking like an awesome lineup so far, and I can tell you for sure that if you haven't had one already, then definitely pick up a real grade and you'll see the difference in terms of quality. So now we're moving on to Gundam Unicorn, one of my favourite series so far in all of Gundam history, and really enjoying the time and effort that Bandai and Sunrise are putting into these current OVAs. They are really, really high quality in my opinion, and the model kits themselves are also really nice, bringing back old designs and variations, and a little bit the opposite in my opinion to what you're seeing now, which is the full lineup, aka cash cow, that is the Gundam Age universe, shall we say. So as you can tell, in a very short space of time, Bandai have managed to knock out an incredible amount of high grade, master grade, mega size Gundams and SDs and all kinds of kits for Gundam Age really. So I do hope they do well with this, and it just keeps Gundam current and mainstream on TV, but also that Bandai can then use some of that and keep some of us old school UC fans happy as well. And lastly, just to round things out with the footage that I've got, is just some random displays of I think these are high grades, and yeah, alright, impressions in general of the expo. As I said, it is much smaller this year, and last year there was the whole build up for Age and you know, heavy focus on that. However, that being said, there are still some really cool things to see at this expo if you want to get yourself down there, if you're in a position to do so. So let's move on to some of the exclusives. I'm not going to bore you with every single exclusive that was available. I'm just going to talk about the ones that I found interesting. And the first one would be the Perfect Raid translucent version that they made. So that was pretty cool. It's not the kind of thing I'd buy, but you know, it's quite nice to see nonetheless. This is the exclusive 1:48 scale RX-78-2 Mega Size Gundam in obviously the extra finish colours. And again, it's not the sort of thing I'd buy, just purely because the expense and the extra finish is a bit of a pain when you actually come to build it. But you know, it's quite nice to have if you're into that kind of thing. So definitely catches the eye on the shelf. Now this one is pretty cool. This is actually an exclusive from last year, I believe. It's the pink Bearguy, and we all know that's from the Gunpla Builders series. And what can I say? It's a bear Gundam that's pink, so I guess for me, I like it because it's cool to be uncool. So, and that's not the only thing they had. They also had the Strike Rouge in real grade format, again another show exclusive, so maybe that one's something that most of us would want to pick up. And moving on to some of the cool dioramas now, and this scene is particularly apt because it's obviously the Hong Kong Bank, and this is also the focus on the real grade Zeta Gundam. So again, just a really nice transition for the transformation from Wave Rider to the actual Gundam itself. And if you notice, then they've kind of put in all the you know, the Zeta Psycho Gundam and all that sort of stuff, and if you look closely, all the GMs. So really cool, that one. Then moving things forward a little bit, this is Gundam Unicorn, and you can probably recognise all these if you've been watching the recent OVAs. You've got all the usuals, and I really like the Jester on the base jabber up here as well, so really nice to see. And then these must be some contest entries or winners, I'm not sure, but obviously this is a really modified what looks to be a full armor Gundam, sorry, full armor Unicorn Gundam. So that just looks amazing, so really nice to see. Modified Kshatriya with a really nice base that they've made here. And the last one was some really nice Death Scythe kind of stylistic Gundam mods, so that is some amazing work, to be honest. So that was the dioramas. There's a last few things that I wanted to talk about, and that is this is the Master Grade lineup that's coming out imminently. So this will be due for a release this year, I believe, and it's the Master Grade Nu Gundam. And the thing with this this particular display is I think it's got some black LEDs around these edges here to simulate the you know, the shield effect. But what it's showing off in particular is that this comes with similar to the previous Master Grades. I think it's the Unicorn Psycho frame actually lights up in black light. I can't remember for sure, but this one definitely does light up green. So this, I'm sure, is on a lot of people's buy list, including myself. And then lastly, I just want to talk about is the MG Sinanju Stein, or Steen as you may pronounce it. And for me, of all the bells and whistles that I've shown you so far, all the exclusives and the extra finishes and whatnot, the star of the show for myself actually is this. I've always liked the Master Grade Sinanju, and you gotta wonder how long ago. I mean, it's been a few years since the Master Grade Sinanju first came out, way before the Gundam Unicorn OVAs were on TV, on air rather. And so now this is another update, or rather it's an actual sort of prototype of a prototype. So this is how the Sinanju was meant to look, and I'm going to talk a lot more about this in another upcoming preview video that I'm going to make. But this for me is a bit of a must-buy eventually. The only issue I have with this is the price, so we'll see what we do about that. But I do really like this particular Sinanju, just the overall understated styling of the whole Sinanju Stein really does appeal to me. So that's my take on Gunpla Expo 2012 Hong Kong. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any comments, then be sure to let me know. It's always nice to have a chat about these things. And if you like this video, press like. If you haven't subscribed, then please do. And I will see you guys again very shortly. So thank you.